Welcome all to the 2022 meeting of the members. We are so excited to get this year kicked off. We have some great things from the past coming back, as well as some new impactful programs. You deserve to celebrate yourself and your community in 2022, as we have all been through some challenging times in these past 2 years, only to prevail. As a strong coalition, we all have the opportunity to continue to make these positive impacts this year. I am Katrina Betancourt, the Executive Director of ArCOP. Once again, we were very hopeful to hold this meeting in person, but unfortunately it wasn't in the cards this year. ArCOP has always been a virtual organization with the opportunity to visit communities in person all across the state. These past 2 years have been a little restrictive, but we have still been able to come see all of the hard work in your community. Today, you will get to hear from our staff about some of the great things going on around the state. I would like to introduce you to all of our staff. If you are familiar with ArCOP, you already know these veterans. Starting from the left is Steve Powell. He is our outreach coordinator. Ashley in the center there, she's our health education coordinator. And Jeremy Adams is our AFMA DUFB, which just means Arkansas Farmers Market Association and Double Up Food Bucks project manager. ArCOP could not function without these three experts. They all have gone above and beyond in their line of work and are all very passionate about what they do. Okay, just a little bit of housekeeping. You guys all know where your restrooms are, so no need to tell you that. So this entire meeting will be recorded and put on our website. You will also receive a link to this video to rewatch it at your leisure or share with others. We'll be keeping you muted throughout the entire presentation, but want to encourage you to use the chat box. Please feel free to ask questions in the chat box. We have the ability to answer you both privately and publicly. We will have a staff on standby answering any questions that you may have. If we don't have the answer immediately for you, we'll definitely follow up with you after the meeting. Here is our agenda for today. I will be providing you with an ArCOP overview and making transitions between the speakers. Steve will be sharing his work on ArCOP outreach across the state. Jeremy will be sharing our 2021 successes with the Double Up Food Bucks and speak a little bit about the Arkansas Farmers Market Association. Nicole Smith, one of our partners with America Walks, will be covering the Arkansas Walking College. Super excited about that this year. We will take a brief intermission to stretch and just get moved around, use a restroom if you need to. Ashley will be highlighting community health education, past, present, and what we will be providing in the future. Robbie Ballou, who is with Curricula Concepts, will be sharing our Better Together partnership. Then we will be finishing up with giving a shout outs to our volunteers and communities who have been awarded with the GHC recognitions. Let's review our coalition's mission. It is to increase access to healthy, affordable food and access to physical activity through the built environment. So now we're going to jump into board nominations that were distributed out this past year. We had 2 open positions this year for the nominations. These included the second vice chair, which serves as a growing healthy community liaison, and then the fiscal chair, who oversees the fiscal committee and fundraising efforts. 2022 nominations were released in October and the final voting was conducted in November. More recently, the chair-elect position became available, and after these nominations and voting were already complete. So we'll talk a little bit about that. If you would like to nominate someone for this position, please send an email to any of our staff or board members to notify us of this nomination. You can also send your nominations directly to me and we'll post it in the chat box, but it's katrina.betancourt@arkansasobesity.org. The chair-elect position chairs the strategic plan committee and serves as a chair in their absence. I am happy to announce an overwhelming yes for both Julie and Becky. Becky previously held the position of fiscal chair for ArCOP and will continue to serve in this role. Julie served in this role as interim second vice chair and has now been voted into the board for 2022. So congratulations, ladies. This is ArCOP's current board of directors. This is a working board, meaning they are not just decision makers and voting authority, but they are boots on the ground, working across the state and in your communities. I want to give a big thanks to these ladies, Sarah Powell as our chair, Andy Ridgway, our secretary, Vanessa Smith, our first vice chair, Becky, our fiscal chair, and Julie, our second vice chair. Congratulations, ladies. You do a great job. Starting back in 2022, our advisory committee is forming once again. We lean on these advisors to not only advise the board, but to provide guidance to communities across the state. We will not hold face-to-face meetings, but we will be here to provide that guidance virtually. So a big thank you to the board, staff, and advisors for being a support to our state and to ArCOP. Here's to an impactful year. So what does the strategic plan look like? Well, everything it has in the past, but in 2022, we are bringing everything virtual. That doesn't mean we won't come visit your community. It just means that we will make all necessary precautions to keep all of us safe. We had a great practice in 2021 going virtual and have had great responses. You will be seeing us at a minimum weekly, most likely daily in some capacity. We will be your neighbor knocking on your door or a computer that you may get tired of and pretend you aren't home. Well, you don't have to answer, but if you miss us, we'll be just a click away. So ArCOP focuses on policy system and environmental changes or enhancements at a local level to make statewide changes. We follow PSE development frameworks. So what that means is when making these changes, our team collaborates with growing healthy communities. We prioritize action plans, we advocate and educate for the change, and then we implement action plans with using PSEs. ArCOP has three primary functions: knowledge sharing. You will get to hear from Steve later in this meeting about all of our resources and avenues in which we share education materials, training, mentoring. Next, we have capacity building, which encourages support, enhances partnership among various stakeholders, so such as our Mayors Mentoring Mayors or Arkansas Farmers Market Association. We do this a lot with our capacity building because we are a coalition. And then there's community action, which fosters positive policy system and environmental changes at the local level. So we've already kind of spoke a little bit about that, and that we do a lot through our programming, but we like to make local level changes to make a statewide impact. So here's our tree. I know you guys got to see this last year, but these are our three branches. First is our 3M, which is Mayors Mentoring Mayors. It encompasses growing healthy places. We focus on equity on that part, which ArCOP covers equity as a whole, but that's one of the avenues that we take for that equity piece. And then we really work with the city elected officials within our growing healthy communities. And then we have GHC, which is access to physical activity, that whole policy system, environmental changes, and then access to nutrition. And then lastly, we have our last branch is AFMA, which is the Arkansas Farmers Market Association. And we do work with grower support and farmers, of course, double up food bucks and growing healthy produce. So these will all be explained throughout our presentations today. So Arkansas Farmers Market Association, or AFMA, is one of our branches. We look forward to continuing the work with our farmers and growers across the state. We're holding our annual meeting on February 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Cooperative Extension State Office in Little Rock. You will hear about this a little bit later in the meeting, but just wanted to give a shout out because it's just around the corner. We will be offering this as a recorded session later if you do miss it in person. Now, on to our presentation about our coalition. Please enjoy. As a reminder, you will be muted, so please ask questions in the chat box and we will respond promptly. Let me introduce you to Steve Powell. Steve is our Health Outreach Coordinator and does a phenomenal job of capturing moments in your community that lead to better health. Take it away, Steve.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Steve Powell, the Health Outreach Coordinator here at the Arkansas Coalition for Obesity Prevention. And let me add my welcome to all of you who have taken the time to join us. We appreciate having you here. I think this is my fourth meeting of the members and really looking forward to sharing some time with you this afternoon. I will save you the time of reading all of that there on the right side of the screen. Basically, I spent the first 2/3 of my career working in television news, and the last 10 years or so on the marketing and communication side. And as I say, I'm working on year 4 here with the Arkansas Coalition for Obesity Prevention. As you can see from the pictures, my wife Amanda and 2 sons, Cooper and Charlie, and I am clearly the least attractive member of my family. And I'm okay with that. I really am. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about building a healthier resources, which is something we try to do here at the Arkansas Coalition for Obesity Prevention. As you can see from this graphic on your screen, ArCOP is a boat with a lot of oars in the water. You see all those graphics, and this isn't even all of them. So it requires that we have separate and distinct messaging for all these different programs that we have going on that fit all under the ArCOP umbrella. So how do we do that? How do we build a healthier resource? Well, one of the ways we do it is by continuing to make our website better, keep it evolving, make it a resource that people can come back time and time again, not just to find out about who ArCOP is, but also allow them to have the resources, access the resources that make them move more, eat healthier, and get feeling better. That's what we do here at ArCOP. So if you go to arkansasobesity.org, you'll find information on growing healthy communities, Double Up Food Bucks, the Arkansas Farmers Market Association, the brand new Arkansas State Walking College. You'll find healthy recipes. You'll see the latest episode of our Growing Healthy Communities weekly podcast. There's information on Better Together and Go Knapsack and mayors mentoring mayors, all kinds of information that we've got to store and make easy to find at arkansasobesity.org. So we've really focused our efforts on trying to make it easier to find that information and to get around. And I guess the best way for me to start with what's new on the website is to start with what's new. And what I mean by that is the what's new page that we've created on the website. You see it right there on the drop-down menu. And this is more or less our weekly newspaper, if you will. If there's something happening, something topical going on, and you want to find out, probably the quickest way for you to do it is just to go to the What's New page. There is the agenda for our upcoming Arkansas Farmers Market Association meeting. Maybe you want to get the latest podcast. It's available one click away, or our latest recipes that we've posted. They're all right there on the What's New page. There's video content. Anything that's going on that pertains to ArCOP is on the What's New page. It's something we didn't have when we were with you last year. We have it now, and I hope you'll take advantage of using it when you come to our website. The other resource that we have added this year that I'm especially proud of is not just what's new, it's the interactive maps that we put on here. And these, I want to give credit where credit is due. Jeremy Adams, who is our program manager of Double Up Food Bucks and does a wonderful job with that, as you know, is also, turns out, a wizard at making maps. And he's created several maps for us for the website. And I'm going to share this example with you. This is on our Double Up Food Bucks page. And you see the interactive map right there, which allows you to go in, zoom in, take your arrow anywhere you want to around the state. If you click on an icon, up pops any information you need about that particular Double Up Food Bucks provider. Anywhere in the state, gives you the address, the hours of operation. And if you click on that red arrow there, it'll give you driving directions how to get there. A fabulous resource if you're looking for something in your area, if you're looking for a part of the state that you're going to be visiting on. These interactive maps are absolutely invaluable. And we've got these interactive maps available not just for Double Up Food Buck locations, but all Arkansas Farmers Market locations. And there's a map for our Better Together Go Knapsack childcare providers as well. So check out the interactive maps. They're a great new resource on the webpage. Now, the other thing that we've really tried to do a better job with going forward is providing more video content. Now, this is something that is probably the best way to communicate with certain audiences today is through video. So we've really made an effort. I think we've doubled the amount of video that we have on the website this year over all the other years combined. And I want to give you an example of just one of the little pieces of video content to sort of give you a flavor of what I'm talking about. This is video we shot when the National Fair Food Network folks came down and toured Arkansas with us. Just take a look at this.
Fair Food Network was one of the early innovators in nutrition incentives. We started the Double Up brand programming model in Michigan about 10 years ago in farmers markets in Flint, Michigan, and have spent the last decade growing that program throughout the state, as well as helping to support the expansion of the program in now 29 other states, including here in Arkansas.
They have served as a true role model and partnership with us so that we're able to expand it across our state. So they have provided us from day one marketing material, guidance, how the program starts. They've really been the true foundation of how we got started here in Arkansas.
So it's really helpful to come visit with the team here at ArCOP and really get to see on the ground, how Double Up Food Bucks is impacting SNAP participants across the state, how it's impacting farmers and small grocers and everyone who's kind of involved in the food supply chain, and really trying to make it so that Double Up, we have this idea that it's a win for families, it's a win for farmers, and it's a win for the local economy. And it's helpful to actually hear about how it's impacting people's lives face to face.
Video is such a great way to educate people about what you're doing, sort of give them a proof of performance. And as an aside, what a great visit from the Fair Food Network. Those folks are absolutely fantastic, and glad to share how ArCOP fits in with those folks and how we work hand in glove to really make Arkansans healthier. Called Market Talks, and it's a segment we've started just this year, and it is for our Arkansas Farmers Market Association. We went out, I think, to between 15 and 20 farmers markets during the market season, and had a chance to talk to market managers and vendors about their markets, give them a chance to promote themselves, talk about the challenges and opportunities that they have. And we really felt like we got to know our market members so much better. Let me give you a little supercut, a little mashup of some of these market talks now.
My name is Amy Burton, and I am the Executive Director of Main Street Searcy, and we are here for our 11th year of the Main Street Searcy Farmers Market.
Farmers market is a staple of the community. People love coming down here just to interact with vendors, see what localized flavor ideas, produce, gifts that might have.
Just my mom and dad were some of the first ones that started coming. My dad got me started coming and everything, and I got the bug from him.
We are the Tawnytown Farmers Market. We've got over 70 vendors. We have a beautiful park here in Tawnytown. We've got walkways all through the park, and our vendors are just set up on both sides of it. So literally when you come out, you can take a walk in the park. You've got vendors, everything you could possibly want and more here.
When our market was a little slow starting this year because of all the rain and then the week-long freeze. But it's really coming off now. And it's been so fun to watch, because each week it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
This is actually our very first year to have the Grand Prairie Farmers Market. And this is actually our first year to be under the pavilion. And the pavilion was built off of a grant for a farmers market. And so we are finally able to fill it with vendors, and we're thriving.
Sure, we normally put 35 to 40,000 people through here on an average year within 6 months, just on Saturdays and Tuesdays. Last year was very different with the COVID, and all kinds of different regulations. And we opened a little bit later just because we were in, everything was such chaotic at that point in time. But we required masks. And when we first started, we were under the mandate of we can only have 25 people at the market. And that was crazy. We've got more than 25 here as vendors. So we had 25 as customers. So we were kind of like all the board of directors. We were the gate guards, and we would count and let so many people in, and 2 would go out. We would let 2 more go back in. There's such close contact right now. We just still feel comfortable with the mask mandate for a little while.
Man, don't you hope we don't have to talk about COVID again when we meet again next year. But I hope that gives you a little taste of flavor for what our market talks are all about. And as I say, we really gave us a chance to sort of bond with the market folks that are out there. It's amazing people that put in so many long hours and deserve all the attention that we can give them. So the market talks you'll find on the website, and you'll also find our market talks available on social media. And I want to talk a little bit about our presence on social media. You see on your screen there, Facebook and Twitter. I'm going to be straight up honest with you, 90%, if not more, of our social media comes through Facebook because it works the best for us. We do have a Twitter account. We don't get a lot of traction there, so there's not a lot going on there. If it picks up, great. We'd love to communicate through Twitter. I did not list YouTube on here as well. We do have a large presence on YouTube. If you just search ArCOP on YouTube, you'll be able to find any of the videos now, past, present, and future when they come around. We have two different Facebook pages. We have the Arkansas Coalition for Obesity Prevention page that we operate, and you'll find anything related to ArCOP on there, whether it is proof of performance, whether it is information that helps you navigate certain deadlines or grant opportunities. You see on your screen, there's a chance to apply for the Arkansas State Walking College. There's a promotion of the next Go Knapsack basic training. We have healthy recipes on there. We share news related to our mission on Facebook. And I invite you, if you're a partner or somebody who works in the health field that has an event going on and that you would like us to share, please, by all means, pass it along. We're always happy to share and help. We are all trying to accomplish the same important mission. So please, if we can help you, please pass that along. And I hope you'll do the same for us and help us get our message out to as many people as possible. We do try to post daily, sometimes multiple times daily, when we think there is the biggest possible audience to see what we've got going on. Now, the other Facebook page that we operate is the Arkansas Farmers Market Association page. This is something that we took from a completely dormant Facebook page about this time last year. And since we have sort of taken this over, we've gone great guns with this thing. I'm very proud of what we've built here on the Arkansas Farmers Market Association Facebook page. We post like the dickens. I think I lost count as I got close to 2,000 posts that we made over the last year. And we are posting everything, sharing everything that we possibly can for farmers markets all across the state. And in fact, whether they're members of the Arkansas Farmers Market Association or not. And this, by the way, isn't just the markets. We're also promoting the vendors too that make these markets so vibrant. So if you want to know what's going on in a farmer's market, this is the destination now to go and see it, because no one else is aggregating. This is the only place you can find that's aggregating all of what the farmers markets are doing across the state of Arkansas. And you know, it's important. It's important what we're doing in this respect, because, you know, farmers markets are not a homogenous thing here in Arkansas. You know, some are operated by the city in which they're located. Some are operated by another organization, another nonprofit, like Main Street Arkansas operates farmers markets in places like Batesville and Searcy and other places as well. And sometimes it's just a loose confederation of growers who've gotten together and found a location and have decided to start a farmer's market and are doing quite well. So they all have different challenges. They all have different objectives. They all have different philosophies, but they all feel like they're sort of working in a bubble. They feel like there's not any place that they can really go up until now to the Arkansas Farmers Market Association to sort of find out what the other guy's doing, what's working for them, how are they promoting their market, how are they making it a better customer experience. Well, you get better by hearing and seeing what other markets are doing. And that's really one of the, if not the most valuable thing we're doing at the Arkansas Farmers Market Association. And also on the Farmers Market Association, we promote what we're doing, whether that's Double Up Food Bucks or any other related program that markets are interested in. And our followers are increasing all the time. It's easily more than doubled. And I suspect as we roll into market season once again, I think we can double our followers again. We're already doing much better than any of us would have thought when we first took this over. It has turned out to be quite a wonderful thing. And while we're on the subject of the Arkansas Farmers Market Association, wanted to remind folks, if somebody hasn't already, that we have our annual meeting, and it will be in person at the Arkansas Cooperative Extension State offices over there on University on February the 3rd. We welcome you to come and see what's going on. Again, this is the only chance for farmers markets to get in the same room together and talk about the issues, the opportunities, and the challenges that affect them. So love to have you there at the Arkansas Farmers Market Association meeting. The membership of the Arkansas Farmers Association might be the greatest value of all time. We ask a whopping $25 annually to provide what we're providing. And our sole purpose is, as it says right there, to support and promote Arkansas farmers markets. That's it. And I don't know if we come out and shoot video and share it with the rest of the world. I don't know if you've priced video production recently, but it's going to be a lot more than $25. The lunch you get at the Arkansas Farmers Market Association meeting is probably $25. So it's essentially just a nominal fee that we're asking to join, and we think it is a fantastic value. And we invite all of you, market managers, vendors, growers, anybody who loves farmers markets, to become a member. Finally, I'll leave you with this, and that is, please share the message of what we're doing here at the Arkansas Coalition for Obesity Prevention. Share what we're doing. If you see it on Facebook and you think it's important to the folks that can benefit from it, please share it. Spread the word. Tell folks about what we're doing here. We think it's an important mission, and we're delighted to have a chance to make a difference here in the state of Arkansas. And finally, I'll tell you, this is how you can reach me. And I invite you to please, if I can answer any question for you, if I can find who can get an answer for you. The email address is right there. Please don't hesitate to call me or text me. And thank you once again for your kind attention, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Steve. Coalition members, please go like our pages, check out our website, and join our distribution list. Next, I would like to introduce you to Jeremy Adams, our go-to guru for everything farm and food related. Jeremy is our Double Up Food Bucks program manager who works closely with markets, stores, managers, vendors, farmers, and everything in between. Jeremy, please share more about Double Up Food Bucks with us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for ArCOP's annual celebration and meeting of the members. This segment of the presentation is going to be about Double Up Food Bucks, which is our SNAP incentive program. My name is Jeremy Adams. I'm the project manager for Double Up Food Bucks here in Arkansas. This is my contact information. I will share it again at the end of today's presentation. And I encourage you to, if you have interest in what you see today, to reach out and contact me via email. Those of you that aren't familiar with SNAP, it stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. This is a federal program administered by the USDA and the Food Nutrition Service. This federal program is designed to alleviate hunger and malnutrition by increasing food purchasing power for all eligible households who apply for participation. This program has existed in various forms since the 1930s. It's really the byproduct of the Great Depression and the First World War. It actually has rigorous standards for households to qualify. It can also provide temporary assistance in the form of disaster SNAP or DSNAP. And then, you know, a little bit more current, it also provides food assistance in the form of pandemic SNAP as part of the COVID relief bill. If you are eligible as a SNAP retailer to accept normal SNAP, you can also accept these other forms as well. To get approved to accept SNAP, that's really the first step for a location that would be interested in participating in Double Up Food Bucks. This is going to be the first thing they need to qualify for. This application is all online now. You can apply directly with the USDA through this link. at the food nutrition service. So what is an incentive? I think we all kind of know that an incentive kind of entices us to, to make a decision or put forth greater effort. What Double Up Food Bucks is really a health incentive. And it encourages folks to make a healthier food choice. We consider Double Up Food Bucks to be a triple win. SNAP households that are on a tight food budget are able to bring home and purchase more healthy food in the form of local fruits and vegetables. Farmers are able to make more money, and then that money stays in the local economy versus going out to some corporate headquarters. So how Double Up Food Bucks works at the farmers market, so the first thing I talk about, and just kind of give you a brief overview of the program. I like this slide because it gives you a good visual representation of what the program will do. So on the left is an example of what a SNAP shopper can buy at the farmers market with $20 in SNAP benefits. So really SNAP benefits are able to purchase pretty much all the food items at the farmers market. Things that are made under the Cottage Food Act, local eggs, beef, chicken, all those things, fruits and vegetables can be purchased with SNAP benefits. And so then this picture on the right really just shows what Double Up Food Bucks does. I mean, it doubles the amount of food they're able to take home. Basically, Double Up Food Bucks provides an additional $20 that's restricted to fruits and vegetables. So these folks are just going to take home a whole lot more healthy food by participating in this program. The way it works is at the farmers market, ideally there's going to be one SNAP terminal. It's going to be located, at the hospitality booth information table. Basically, that's where the SNAP card or SNAP customer is going to go to swipe their card first. They'll be issued out tokens, 2 different sets. One set of tokens are going to be eligible for anything that's SNAP eligible at the market. And then they'll be issued out a separate colored token, a Double Up Food Bucks token, in the equal amount to their SNAP. But this silver token on the right is going to be restricted to just fruits and vegetables. So that SNAP customer at that point basically walks around the market and spends their tokens with the vendors that are participating. More vendors, meat vendors, egg vendors, cottage food vendors can accept those SNAP tokens. And then the Double Up Food Bucks tokens are good only with fruits and vegetable vendors. So token distribution and just kind of how the program works, we can match up to $20 per market day. We can provide tokens to the markets to implement this program. Our tokens are good in $2 value increments. Like I said, the Double Up Food Bucks tokens are restricted to just fruits and vegetables. We encourage SNAP customers to purchase in even increments because of how the tokens are set up. And then Double Up Food Bucks runs from May 1st through October 31st of 2021. It will do the same thing this season in 2022. So really communication is the key to Double Up Food Bucks. We really have a toolkit that will help you communicate some of this, but really the market needs to communicate the potential to increase their sales to their vendors. They need to be able to explain the rules of the program. Some of the tools that we have for that is an established record keeping format. We have form letters for vendors that can participate and cannot to help articulate, the program and how it can actually benefit everybody at the market. We also have Vineyard Agreements that vendors that participate and are going to receive payments for Double Up Food Bucks tokens need to sign. This is an example of that vendor agreement. It really just provides in writing the clear expectations of the program to the vendors. Really basic things like these are only good for fruits and vegetables. We don't make, we don't cash out these tokens for cash, things like that. And then it is proof that the vendor was informed of the rules if there ever is an issue with the program. So a little bit on the record keeping and what's required for the market. This is a customer record sheet. This is what they fill out daily when they swipe the SNAP card and make the transactions. Really, we're just capturing the last 5 digits of the card, the amount they spent in SNAP, then the amount that was issued out in Double Up food bucks. Those should be the same amount or it couldn't be less. And then we also capture, is this the first time the customer has shopped at the farmer's market? And for many customers it is. Double Up food bucks can generate new customers for your farmer's market, as well as benefit or generate repeat customers for your farmer's market. The other piece of daily paperwork for a market manager or a market administrating this program would be this vendor redemption and reimbursement record. Basically, the market manager walks around at the end of the market day, collects these tokens from the vendors. There's an individual line item here for each vendor. You record the SNAP tokens, the Double Up food bucks tokens. And then on the right, there's a column to record a check number, basically creating a paper trail of where you paid these vendors for their tokens. So to verify these daily transactions and for auditing purposes, we need a couple things. We either need the EBT batch reports from the processors stapled to these customer record sheets daily, or you can actually log into your account, your processor's account from your computer, and really generate a monthly report and just email it to us. That's good as a backup as well, in case these daily record sheets get lost. It's all there in the cloud, so you can access it. And then, like I said, we need a paper trail of written checks for reimbursement to these vendors, and that is recorded on the vendor record sheet. So if you haven't been to ArCOP's website, it's arkansasobesity.org. It's a wealth of information and a great resource. I wanted to highlight where Double Up food bucks was located on the website. This is what it looks like. There across the top, there's some tabs under what we do. The very first one is Double Up food bucks, and that will take you to everything you need to know about Double Up food bucks. There's a couple of videos on there about how the program works. It's also where we list our program sites. It's where you can find my contact information. So I want to highlight what we did with Double Up food bucks in 2021. We were able to roll out and implement this interactive map of program sites. This is embedded on that web page and the link we just talked about. You can actually click on it and expand the map out to bigger information. And then when you roll over each one of these, you can get additional information on that program site. There's links to their social media, as well as contact info. The pins here in blue represent farmers markets that we worked with in 2021, and then the colored pins represent our grocery partners. We have a pretty good statewide representation of this program. I think we worked in 32 counties in 2021. To highlight some of our farmers markets, Double Up food bucks farmers markets and farm stands, like I said, they're highlighted in blue on this map. We work with Springdale Market at Jones Center, the Howard County Farmers Market in Nashville, Hot Springs Farmers Market, Fabre Farm. They are a direct marketing farm stand. They also set up at the Arkadelphia Farmers Market, that's Clark County, and then the Hot Springs Farmers Market. We work with Saracen Landing, which is the Pine Bluff Farmers Market, a farm stand in Southwest Little Rock called the Nursery, Little Rock Farmers Market, at the River Market, as well as St. Joseph's Center Farm Stand in North Little Rock. Bell Urban Farm in Conway was a new farm stand for 2021. Melonia Farmers Market, the Farmers Market at McCrory, and Worley's Vegetable Market in Forest City. One thing that I did want to highlight that I overlooked on this map is this was actually viewed over 6,000 times this season. It's kind of small, but it's in the upper left-hand corner there. This is a really great way for folks to interact with information. I was really blown away by 6,000 views. So we also do double up food bucks at the grocery store. The program works a little bit different. This is one of our in-store posters. Basically, it's a 50% discount at the point of sale. Still the same terms. Basically, they can purchase up to $40 worth of food. It only costs them $20 on the card. That's really the same format as at the farmer's market. The only difference is this is only applicable to eligible fruits and vegetables in the produce section. So our grocery partners for 2021, the pins there in green represent HARPs. We also work with American Made General Store. That's the purple pin located in Pocahontas in Randolph County. Hayes Grocery, we work with 4 locations with them. They're represented in red. Walnut Ridge, 2 locations in Blytheville, which is Mississippi County, and then 1 location in West Helena, Phillips County. We also work with Edwards Food Giant. They're the yellow pin there. That represents Mariana. This pretty much is a list of all of our grocery locations. You know, Harps, we're in Solomon Springs, Huntsville, Green Forest, Yellville, Mountain View, Marshall, Clarksville, Perryville, Waldron. A lot of the rural Ozark counties. All of these counties we're working with, I think 95% of them are USDA strike force counties or areas of persistent high poverty and high food insecurity. So like I said, this is a discount in the grocery that's applied at the point of sale. This graphic on the right is basically kind of like shows how items should be marked in the produce section. The graphic on the left there is placed by the point of sale at the cash register where they swipe the card. It really prompts that customer to ask for double up food bucks when they're paying with SNAP. The cashier enters a POU code, and any eligible produce items in the customer's basket automatically receive a 50% discount. So I want to talk about some of the numbers, some of the successes of double up food bucks in our transaction history. You know, we've been offering this program in Arkansas since 2016. I think we've taken steps forwards, we've taken steps backwards, but we're really taking steps in the right direction now. We're really increasing transactions. We saw a 66% increase in transactions from 2020 to 2021, with just shy of 12,000 transactions for 2021. Really big numbers. When you break that down to farmers markets and farm stands, they saw a pretty good increase as well, just shy of 2,400 transactions and almost 350 new customers. I think that would have been a little bit higher, more on track with where it usually is, but we did lose one of our larger farmers markets in 2021. But several of the other ones were able to make success where others had a loss. So what double up food bucks looks like for 2022, ArCOP has received a USDA GusNet grant to expand the double up food bucks grocery program. So we will be working with our grocery partners in 2022 to make this eligible at more locations. ArCOP is hosting a SNAP retailer virtual sign-up event in coordination with the USDA on February 3rd. This is a part of ArCOP's Arkansas Farmers Market Association meeting. And this is an opportunity for farmers markets, direct marketing farmers to really have a direct one-on-one video meeting with the USDA and get approved to accept SNAP in one day. If you're interested or have questions, I encourage you to reach out to me. Be happy to talk to you about them. Currently, program sites for Double Up Food Bucks 2022 are being selected. Those will be posted on the ArCOP website. So please check back. Those should be posted no later than mid-April, hopefully sooner than that. This is my contact information again, like I said, you can find it on ArCOP's website, arkansasobesity.org. Thank you for joining us today for our annual celebration. We appreciate what you do in your communities to help make these programs happen. And like I said, I encourage you to, if you're interested in Double Up Food Bucks, to reach out to me and we can start a conversation. And thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Jeremy. The 2021 Double Up Food Bucks was such a great success. We all look forward to an even more success in 2022. Next, I have the pleasure to present Nicole Smith, who has earned a master's in public health and is currently a public health professional working for a national nonprofit, America Walks. She's focused on advancing safe, equitable, and accessible places to walk and move. She is passionate about making connections with people she serves, hearing their stories, and creating common ground. Nicole lives in Kensaw, Georgia, with her 2 dogs and an epic book and houseplant collection. Welcome, Nicole.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for having me today. My name is Nicole Smith, and I'm the Operations and Program Manager for America Walks, and I'm here to share about the Arkansas State Walking College. This is our first year with this program, so it's a pilot program, and we're super excited to be partnering with Arkansas Coalition for Obesity Prevention and the Arkansas State Department of Health. And I'm going to share my screen and just share a little bit about the program, what our expectations are for our fellows, and just some desired outcomes. So just a little bit about America Walks. America Walks is a leading national nonprofit, and we're focused on advancing safe, equitable, accessible, and enjoyable places to walk and move by giving people and communities the resources to effectively advocate for change. America Walks actually started the Walking College, as we call it, which is a national program, in 2015, and it's an online educational program for walkable community advocates. And so basically this same national program has now been tailored to fit a statewide perspective. And these photos here are 2015 class, when we would have a gathering for our fellows, and then our 2016 class. And we've had a national class every year since 2015. And I'm honored to say that I actually am a graduate of the 2019 National Walking College. So pretty much what is a really great feature of this program is that our fellows, as we call them, or the students of the program, they're comprised of people from so many different backgrounds. And we've had local advocates, people from community organizations, public health professionals, transportation professionals, folks that work in planning, elected officials, students, you name it. And so it's all people with a common desire and goal to make their communities safer. And they all come together and learn under this curriculum. So just to share a bit about the program goals. So the goal of the Arkansas State Walking College is to build the capacity of local advocates to advance policy, systems, and environment change to create walkable and livable communities. And this is the same program goal that we have for our national program as well. And this is accomplished through a 6-month fellowship, which will provide training in best practices, a network of peers and mentors, and individual coaching in developing a community-specific walking action plan. So one of the great things about this program, and especially at the state level, is that we have fellows, which I'll share who they are towards the end of this presentation, from all over the state of Arkansas, and they can network and connect. Many people have similar experiences in their communities, a similar demographic or geographic outlay of their communities. So it's nice to just be able to talk this through and come to some common solutions for their communities. Next, this is a little bit about the course outline. So as I said, it's a 6-month fellowship, and we have 6 modules, and each module lasts for 3 weeks. So module 1, which our fellows are actually just finishing up this week or last week, is how we got here. So we're going to talk about transportation policy, systemic discrimination, walking towards justice, accessible communities. This is a newer addition to our curriculum, and it's really great to see, I guess you would say, the aha moments that the fellows have in their discussion and reading the materials, just to kind of find out what is the history of how our communities are made up, where housing is, why are the sidewalks great in this neighborhood and they're not in the other. It's just really geared, this first module, to also have our fellows to go out and just kind of take a look at their community with a fresh set of eyes, and then report back and have discussions amongst themselves and with their mentors. Module 2 is developing leadership. And this is where we want to talk about, how do you inspire others? How do you start a movement? Cultivating champions. And we use a method, Stories of Me, Us, Now, from Marshall Gans. And also we want to encourage our fellows to do an equity analysis. So this is just pretty much, how can I become a leader in my community on this topic? So of course, we're not able to give you every tip about leadership, but these are just some great tools and resources to get started. Module 3, organizing for change. So this is, how do you plan events and programs? How do you communicate strategically with those that are in decision-making positions, or even with people that are your neighbors that you want to bring along with you in this movement? How to build a coalition, campaigns, and organizing. Module 4 is titled Designing for People. So this is where we do the walk audit. And the walk audit has been such a valuable tool every year for our fellows in the national program and for our other state programs, because the walk audit, once you do a walk audit, you'll never look at streets the same way again. It's just a really good way to take a detailed look at your sidewalks, your intersections, the infrastructure, make notes, and then make a plan on, who can I take this information to that is able to address these changes? Or how can our fellows themselves potentially make some changes? And that might be through traffic calming, placemaking, things like that. We also talk about land use and transportation planning in this module as well. Module 5, shifting public policy. Of course, public policy has a major impact on walkability in our communities. So here we're going to talk about local government, the public policy process, how to make improvements and resist gentrification, complete streets, and Vision Zero. And one of the key parts of this module is to take a look at what is your government structure, so to speak, in your community. So we want to encourage fellows to know, when are your city council meetings? What are your zoning laws? And of course, you don't have to be well versed in all of it, but we just want to, in each of these modules, just open the fellows' eyes to take a deeper dive into these really important policies that are happening where they live. And module 6 is planning a strategy. So we're going to take all the information from modules 1 through 5. We're going to talk more about strategic planning, how to bring it all together. And then that is all going to develop into a final report that we refer to as the Walking Action Plan. And a little bit more about the course structure. So again, 6 modules, and they're 3 weeks each. And the study activities are a combination of online articles. We have TED Talks, we have toolkits. What's really great about the Arkansas State Walking College is one of our mentors, which I'll share towards the end, has been providing some really great Arkansas specific resources. So it helps to tie in each module with things that are kind of happening at a national level, and then bringing it down more granular to Arkansas, and just some more like tangible examples. And then we also have community activities and blog posts that are part of the study activities. And the community activities are things like getting together with people in the community, of course, being mindful of the safety precautions right now, and doing the walk audit together. or just walking through your community and taking some notes and identifying some barriers that you might see. Reaching out to local coalitions or elected officials and, you know, scheduling a meeting or asking some questions. So there's some interactive pieces there as well. The online interactive sessions. So we have in our first week, we have a mentor-led group discussion. This is really great because we have for the Arkansas program, we have 3 mentor groups, and this provides an expert in the field. And these experts might be from transportation, you know, planning, public health. We've had mentors that are in a lot of different fields, and they are going to help lead through group discussion during this first week. And pretty much we provide prompts for these discussions. So they're going to talk amongst themselves about topics that apply to each of those modules that I shared in the previous slide. But then in week 2, we're going to stay on the same topics, but just the fellows are going to have a meeting, a 1-hour meeting, and they're going to discuss prompts that are provided for them as well for discussion. And this is a great time just for, again, fellows to get together, to share challenges that they've seen, share some wins that either they've been a part of or that are happening in their community. And it just gives them a really good time to network as well. And then week 3 is reserved for one-on-one coaching. And that's for the mentor, and they will meet with each of the fellows in their group individually. And this is just to answer any questions, but primarily the goal for these one-on-one coaching sessions is to work on the walking action plan. And so the walking action plan has a writing assignment in each module, and that is the main focus of module 6. And I'll give some examples of walking action plans a little later in the presentation. And then of course, evaluation is a big part of our course structure as well. So at the very beginning, we do a self-assessment, and we ask some questions of the fellows just to kind of gauge where they are and how comfortable they are with some of the topics. And then we ask the same questions at the end, and then we can just kind of do a before and after assessment. And then each module, we will ask the fellows to give us their input on the quality of the course materials, because we always want to be improving. So the process evaluation is really important. So examples of walking action plans are establishing a walk bike advisory committee, engaging public health departments and rural hospitals to participate in a messaging and communications campaign that promotes walking and walkability, advocating for traffic calming ordinances to be passed, obtaining a walk-friendly community status, launching a Safe Routes to Transit program, or we've had also Safe Routes to School, conducting walk audits at schools, and developing infrastructure plans to overcome identified barriers, and adopting a Vision Zero policy. And now all of these are examples of actual walking action plans we've had in the past national classes. And some of these came to completion and some are still in process, because the whole goal of the walking action plan is actually looking ahead like 3 to 5 years, because as we know, change takes time. So whenever the fellows are done with the program, we're not expecting their action plans to come to fruition, you know, within 6 months or even a year. Some do, and that's fabulous. But we do want to set the expectation that these things can take time. And we do leave the decision process up to the fellows as far as what they feel the need is in their community. And then again, they'll work with their mentor to turn that into some action items and really achievable goals. And just to give a little snapshot of module 1. So again, module 1 is how we got here. So week 1, we talked about a history of transportation, and they have the study materials, the mentor-led discussion. And then the activity was just to basically introduce themselves. We use Google Classroom for our program, and there were a lot of introductions in that first week between the mentor-led discussion groups. And then week 2, we talked about a history of systemic injustice, and there were study materials on that topic. And the fellows were able to get together and really share what they learned from those study materials. And they talked about identifying barriers in their community. So they were encouraged to just walk around, not even necessarily having to take notes, but just kind of take in your surroundings. And what are some barriers that maybe they hadn't noticed? Maybe it's ramps, maybe it's cracked sidewalks, unsafe intersections to cross, just kind of taking in some of these things that maybe weren't top of mind before. And then week 3 is learning from history, and that's the subject matter for the study materials. And during this week, there's a one-on-one coaching session, and that activity was to take a walk or roll. So basically, again, go through and just start to get familiar with your community and get familiar with the infrastructure, because again, later in the modules, there will be a walk audit. So all of that will be very helpful information to gather before that activity. And then this is just the course objectives. So after completing the Arkansas State Walking College, the objectives that we have in mind are that our fellows will be able to discuss the history of transportation planning in the US, the role of systemic discrimination in the built and social environments, recruit and inspire others to build a local movement, to organize campaigns which use storytelling and strategic communications to develop a public narrative about healthy community development, identify design changes in the built environment, navigate the structure of local government and engage elected officials, and then connect social justice, public health, and climate action in a strategic plan focused on creating safe mobility for every community member. And then just some common outcomes from the Walking College. So these are some statistics that we have from our national program, but really these outcomes can also translate to the Arkansas program as well. Some of the most common individual outcomes from the Walking College are community events held. So those are things like maybe tactical urbanism or getting together to do like some advocacy around, safe streets, or just getting people together so that they can do the walk audit together, which that's our 4th bullet point. Walkability audits are a really very common outcome, and they're a really great place to start for a lot of people. And they can lead to a lot more action that wasn't even expected. Public speaking opportunities, of course, that's a great outcome and a very common outcome as well, because we're going to equip the fellows with the tips and the plans that they need to perhaps schedule to speak at their local council meeting, or just to get people together and rally around, an intersection that's dangerous and things like that. And then new partnerships and coalitions formed, that's a very common outcome as well. Again, this is something that could either be a fellow starting these new partnerships or coalitions themselves in their community, or maybe they're going to partner up with another fellow that's in the program and they can work together because, they're in neighboring communities or not that far from each other. And then new policies adopted. As we all know, adopting new policies is not an easy task, but the Walking Colleges has contributed at least partly to the adoption of 40 new policies as of when we did this survey. So Vision Zero policies are part of that, Complete Streets policies, and then other policies in other communities as well. So of course, affecting change in policy is also one of the modules. So again, we really focus on that as well. And next we have our 3 mentors, which we are so delighted to have. First, we have Kim Sanders, who is the bicycle and pedestrian coordinator for the Arkansas Department of Transportation. We have John Landowski, who is the City of Little Rock bicycle and pedestrian coordinator. And we have Rachel Kottner, who lives in Little Rock, and she is a passionate community advocate. She's involved in so many things in Arkansas. And we're super excited to have her as a mentor because she actually just graduated from our national program in 2021. So we are just so honored to have this level of expertise for our fellows. And it's just been really exciting to see the sessions. I was fortunate to sit in on the first mentor-led discussions when we started the program, and things are going great so far. So we're just really, really honored to have this lineup of mentors for the program. And then next, we want to just say congrats to our fellows. So on this list are 19 fellows that we have in the program from different parts of Arkansas, again, from a variety of backgrounds and professions. And the enthusiasm is definitely contagious in this group. So again, I was just really excited to sit in on those first sessions and the get to know yous. And I just think this is going to be a really great group to network and just to build quite a movement around walkability in Arkansas. So I'm really excited for each and every one of the fellows that we have in this program. And this is just a little map that shows where the fellows are from. So we kind of categorize into small towns, which is less than 10,000 people. So we have representation from small towns, from mid-sized cities, so between 10 to 100,000. And then we, of course, have several people who are in the Little Rock metropolitan area. And this map is just a sampling of where everyone is from. We don't have an icon for every single fellow because we have several that are from around the same areas. So again, thank you so much for having me. And it's been a pleasure to share about the Arkansas State Walking College and just to see where the fellows are going to progress as this program goes on. Again, our desired outcomes for this group are very similar to the outcomes that we have for the national program. And I have no doubt that these fellows will make that happen. So thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, Nicole. This information was very valuable and so very important to our state. We're excited to have so many fellows in our state this year, and we hope to continue this program from years to come. Which brings us to break time. So let's get up and move. You can use the restroom. We're going to give just a quick 5-minute intermission, and then we'll be back. You guys are welcome to stay and exercise along with us.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Ashley Story, and I am the Health Education Coordinator with the Arkansas Coalition for Obesity Prevention. And I'm excited that you are all able to take the time out of your day to be here with us at our annual meeting of the members. And I'm super excited to share with you all of the things that we were able to accomplish over 2021, as well as what the future holds for 2022, what we hope to accomplish. And then also, I would love to hear from you guys as far as what is important to you when it comes to health education, but we'll get to that a little bit more later. For this part of the presentation, we've titled it Community Health, Change from the Inside Out, Meeting Community Members Where They Are. The reality is that in this world that we are living in, a lot of us are still in the unknown. A lot of us are still at home or being quarantined. We're home a lot more than we would like to be. And so really, I just wanted to focus on how can we meet people where they are and try to bring health education to them. And again, my name is Ashley Story. This is a picture of my beautiful little family in our matching PJs. I mean, it just does not get much better than that, guys. But I started with ArCOP back in 2018 as the Health Education Coordinator. But my passion for health and wellness really started with my own personal health journey, where I was able to lose over 100 pounds by learning how to cook with fresh ingredients. I also was able to help lead my family on to a healthier track. This also led to a variety of experiences in the health and wellness world, including nutrition education opportunities, as well as coaching other people that were in my life through their own health journey as well. And then I've also had the pleasure of becoming a certified personal trainer, and I'm currently studying to be a certified nutrition coach. So big things happening, and I'm excited to use all of that for good for ArCOP. Currently, I just try to find ways to integrate health education into everyday life and to make health simple for everyone. That really is my passion. I've been married to my best friend. We've been together for almost 10 years now, and we have 3 children, ages 8, 6, and 5 months, and we are done. As a family, we love to play board games, and we love making jokes, and we also love rollerblading and exercise. All right, so let's get on with this part of the presentation, right? So meeting community members where they were. Let's look at health at home, right? Because a lot of us are at home. So the one thing that we did do this year was we continued to add to our online recipe book. If you don't know already, you can go to our website, arkansasobesity.org, and you can access the ArCOP healthy eating recipes. This is more of a compilation of all sorts of different websites that we have searched and found fun recipes that we could make simple and put in a pretty flyer format that you're able to share. Also just a place that you could quickly go to and access healthy recipes. That was kind of the thought, but also to be able to share it with those that you are already working with. This year we were able to add 21 shareable recipe cards to our library, things like Southwestern chicken and lima bean stew, berry granola yogurt bark, that's a good snack for the kiddos, and then tomato eggplant zucchini bake with garlic and Parmesan. And that one's great with some of those fresh ingredients from the farmer's market. Also, we added 4 shareable nutrition facts flyers to our online library. And again, that's just something that you can use as a free resource to share in the community. Here are a few examples. So here's one of our no-bake energy balls recipe flyers. And then here we have that Southwestern chicken and lima bean stew. It's a dump and go recipe. You dump it in the crock pot and you turn it on, and there you have it. Super simple. We also did this one, healthy pumpkin waffles. So during the fall season, you know, it's pumpkin spice time, right? So I am one of those people that freak out about pumpkin spice, but then I was like, let's have some healthy pumpkin recipes that we can make with our families, right? So healthy pumpkin waffles. We found this one and put it together in a fun little flyer that you can share as well. And then we have some carrot cake breakfast cookies and some smothered cabbage. So I won't spend too long on those, but again, just what are you supposed to do with this information? I want you to be able to direct the people that you serve in the community to our website. I want you to be able to direct them to these healthy eating flyers and these nutrition benefits flyers. Use them however you can, but you can print and share. You can download and put it on social media. You could download it and add it to an email as a resource. You could add it to your newsletter. There's all kinds of opportunity there, but we just wanted to make sure that you had the materials that you needed. And if you can think of other materials that you would like to distribute to those that you serve in the community, I would love to hear some more ideas of what would be valuable to you. Also this year, we were able to record 3 nutrition education lunch and learn webinars. We did a meal prepping webinar, a My Plate webinar, and a nutrition labels webinar. And so in that meal prepping webinar, we really just walked through the basics of meal prepping, things to take into consideration, your basics of how to actually do a meal prep, what materials that you need, and some ideas of things that you could meal prep. In the My Plate webinar, they had sent out some great information whenever everybody was quarantined in at home. And so we were able to put that into this webinar for you guys. And really, it just makes healthy choices, healthy food choices very simple. It helps you see it in a real tangible way. And so I highly recommend that one. And then a nutrition labels webinar, because like I was telling a group earlier, you can't do what you don't know. And so really, when you have the rule book to the game, or you have the rules to the game, that's when you can really succeed. And reading nutrition labels is part of having that rule book. We were also able to record some Catch Health at Home lessons to put out for students this year. So we did the Value Healthy Eating lesson, as well as the Practice Healthy Behaviors. And again, that just goes hand in hand with choosing healthy foods, making the right choices for you, choosing go foods more often than you choose slow foods. If you guys recall, we talked about that a lot last year. And then practicing those healthy behaviors, moving your body more, drinking more water, and then still putting those healthful whole foods into your body. We were, and here's a little snapshot of what you would see if you go to our website, arkansasobesity.org. You can go in there, and here's a snapshot of how you would access that video. Also this year, we were able to put out a summer activity calendar for the month of June. This was my little baby that I got really excited about. This was something that I, as a mother of young children, this is something that I get very excited about, because it is very challenging over the summer months to keep our kids moving and to keep them engaged, because we also have jobs, right? And we also have other responsibilities that are pulling for our attention and pulling for our time. So I love having something that I can throw up on the wall at the beginning of the month, and the family has something to look forward to. The kids know what to expect that day. So this summer activity calendar really just kind of takes a whole holistic approach, really a whole self approach. So we have a Serve Sunday, where you think of others, think outside of yourself. We have a Movement Monday, right? Get our bodies moving. That's how we're going to combat obesity. So different ways that you can get moving with the kids. They can get moving on their own. It gave a little snippet how to do this activity. It gave you resources on how to do the activity. Water Wednesday, just to stick with the WW there. So there were some water hose games and some super soaker sponge fun. Wash the car together, right? Parents get their car washed, kids get to play in the water afterwards. It's a win-win. Thinking Thursday, so we wanted to throw a little bit of STEM activity in there. We wanted to get their brains thinking over the summer months, just a little bit, nothing too challenging, but like a STEM tower challenge. You could build the tallest tower and build a raft and try to get it to float across the top of some water. Throw some coins on top of it to see how strong your raft is, things like that. Again, I was thinking, I have an 8 and a 6-year-old. I'm thinking, what could they do with minimal guidance, but still enjoy it, and I could still be engaged. So that was the idea. And then we have Family Fun Friday, right? So some board game fun, free or low cost fun if you don't have any board games. Go on a nature scavenger hunt. And then Saturday was self-care Saturday. So doing some animal yoga to stretch the body and stretch the muscles and give your mind time to relax and unwind. A family spa day where you guys could really just spend the day together focusing on each other. Do a family vision board, like sit down together and think what does our family want? What are our hopes? What are our goals? Like, what do we want to accomplish as a family together? We like to think of things like that. Like, where do we want to be in 3 to 5 years? What changes can we make now? So sometimes it's good to just have that activity, somebody else telling you to do that activity, and then it really sparks some great conversation with the children. So summer activity calendar, and I'll go ahead and give you the bright flasher now that I'm hoping to put a few more of these out this year. This was a lot of fun, and I feel like we had a good response. So I'm hoping that we can do a few more activity calendars in 2022. And again, this calendar just helped to combat obesity risk factors. I mean, more movement, healthier food choices, and just a more holistic approach of how to look at wellness in several different ways. All right, this year we also continued our work with the Better Together project, and you will have the opportunity to hear from Robbie Ballou a little bit later, and she's going to go more in depth on the project. But this is where the majority of my time has been spent this past year. This Better Together project has been huge, but it has been so great, so enjoyable to be a part of, and just such a game changer, I think, in the world of health. So I'm very excited that I've been able to be a part of this project. I will give you a brief overview, and then, as I said, Robbie Ballou will be coming on to share some more. So the goal of the Better Together project is to instill healthy eating and physical activity habits early in life through program level and state system level improvements. Currently, it's being implemented in 4 states. We have Arkansas, Arizona, Mississippi, and Indiana. It was a 3-year project. Because of COVID, it kind of worked out to being like a 2.5-year project, but 3-year project. It's been supported by Nemours Children's Health System and University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. And it is a 3-part project. So there were some state level actions that we had discussed achieving. There are the learning collaboratives that have been going on over the last 2 years. And then there's also the statewide Go Knapsack piece of this project, which is really where a lot of my heart and soul has been poured into. Go Knapsack, just in case you're wondering what that is, it's an online self-assessment tool that helps childcare programs improve best practices around physical activity and healthy eating, around oral health and screen time, farm to ECE. It's available free of charge currently to the state of Arkansas as a part of the Better Together project. So something else to be thinking about is sustainability after the end of the project. But the Go Knapsack tool covers 7 modules. It's the child nutrition, infant and child physical activity, breastfeeding, infant feeding, outdoor play and learning, farm to ECE, screen time, and oral health. There have been incentives offered across the state for participation. And by the end of the project, we will have reached over 150 programs just through the statewide piece. So 150 programs through the statewide piece. And then Robbie's going to give you some more numbers for the learning collaboratives. But really, we have impacted a lot of children with this program. Something I did want to highlight, because I don't think they're going to talk about it in their presentation, but I wanted to highlight the tips and materials section of Go Knapsack. And the reason I wanted to highlight this is because there are so many fabulous health education pieces in this tool that are completely free just by connecting to it. So I wanted to share a few of these tips and materials that we were able to put out and put in the hands of childcare providers and families. So one of them is this food for thought. Let me click a little bit more. This food for thought. So it was designed to teach children healthy habits, introduce children to wholesome, healthful foods, familiarize them with the origins of foods, and feature fresh seasonal foods, incorporate math, science, and literacy concepts. So it took nutrition and it turned it into a lesson plan, right? It's structured around 5 units. So you have fabulous fall fruits and vegetables, wonderful winter fruits and vegetables, go-go grains, power up with proteins, summary of spring snacking. So here's another page that you'll find inside of that food for thought resource. So it takes pairs. It gives you, you know, the objective of the activity. So develop an awareness that a pear is a fruit, and by using their senses, they'll be able to compare the characteristics of a pear. So you do some math experiences with it. You do some learning things. You do some science, all kinds of different stuff. So I feel like that's a fantastic resource that programs have been able to have access to. And then these are some of the family engagement handouts that are built into the tool. So the thought is, you know, you educate the staff at the childcare programs, and then you educate the families, and then together as a team, you are able to change the health of the child. And so here are some of those handouts that have been made available to families as a direct result of Go Knapsack being in the hands of those providers. They also had access to healthy menus. It was a all different season menu cycle, so 4-week, 4-season menu cycle. It gave them everything that they needed to feed the children at their program. And then just to move their bodies more, they had a great resource talking about no to low cost ways to promote physical activity in the childcare setting. So literally there were ideas for junk equipment. You would take all of the things that you would normally throw away, and you recycle it and turn it into some great ways to get the kids moving. Some pavement paintings ideas and just things like that. This year, we have also are super excited to announce the Growing Healthy Children Recognition Program Rollout. So what that is, I'm sure you are familiar with our Growing Healthy Communities. This Growing Healthy Children Recognition Program is going to be for those programs that are participating in Go Knapsack, and it's going to encourage new progress each year. It's also going to encourage best practice score improvement each year, and it's going to give incentives for the recognized programs. So as a part of Go Knapsack, we ask that programs work through the 5-step improvement cycle in each of those different content areas. And so programs are going to be recognized for their work going through the 5-step improvement process. So one of the criteria for recognition is to go through one full cycle. And so what does that mean? Well, that means that the program has assessed in that content area. They have planned, so they've identified goals and built action plans for improvement. They've worked with a TA consultant to help them do that. They have now taken action and reached those goals. They have educated themselves and educated their staff more on the changes that they're trying to make and the improvements that they're trying to make. And then they've also managed to keep it up. And that is where they have put it into action. It is now official. It's in black and white. And they've gone back in to take another self-assessment in that same area to see how much they've improved in best practices. And so as long as they've improved by 5% at that point, they would be eligible for that first recognition criteria. We'll just show you right here. We have that emerging criteria. One full cycle, which means they did one self-assessment, 2 to 3 goals and action plans were created, and 2 to 3 goals were completed. And then that second self-assessment was done. And then there's that 5% overall best practice score improvement. So emerging is 1 full cycle, blossoming was 2 full cycles, and thriving is 4 full cycles. This year, we were also able to put out the Growing Healthy Communities Enhanced podcasts. And the only reason I call them enhanced is because we had some fun slides to go with these podcasts. So it kind of like, I wanted to find the right terminology for it. And I really feel like enhanced podcast is the way to go. So we put out these Growing Healthy Communities podcasts where we were just able to, you can obtain practical step-by-step guidance in community building skills. So we were able to bring that to the community. Please forgive like the second half of this schedule because I had a baby and was out on maternity leave. And so we kind of took a step back from putting these out on a schedule, and we actually have a volunteer helping to put these out. But there are, let's see, all the way up to, I think, using evaluation to understand and improve the initiative are now on our website and on our YouTube page, so you can access those. I would recommend going to the arkansasobesity.org website, and you can click on the Growing Healthy Communities podcast there. So these have been Very fun to do and very educational, but I really feel like this is a great resource for communities that are ready to make a change. And then here's just an example of how it was broken down. So encouraging involvement in community work, we broke it down into 4 different weeks. So you would have a plan for increasing participation in community action. Week 2, we talked about methods of contacting potential participants and how to write letters to potential participants. We talked about making personal contact with potential participants and involving key influentials in the initiative. And then we talked about involving people most affected by the problem. And I know that's a lot, but that's great, right? Because that means we have been hard at work in 2021, just trying to help Arkansas be healthier and increase the education across the state. And so here's the vision for 2022. And again, this is where I want to hear from you. My passion is making health simple. And so I would love to hear, how can we make health simple and how can we give you the resources that you are needing? So please feel free to reach out. But here is the vision for 2022. Want to put together some more activity, healthy eating calendars like that June activity calendar. I was even thinking of one for the school year. So maybe we have some after school, after work snacks on there and some physical activities for kids that can be done on their own while parents are cooking dinner, right? And then we'll also maybe even have some work night dinner recipes on there. We want to continue to add to our online recipe book, and we want to provide you guys with some lunch and learns that are about 5 to 10 minutes in length. We understand that it's hard to keep attention for longer than that, and we also want to make it something simple and digestible. So nutrition education and physical activity on the go. We will also be completing the Better Together project this year in June. So we'll be wrapping that up and continuing to provide some TA for our programs that are in Go Knapsack. And then we also want to continue to offer Go Knapsack as a resource to programs. That is the vision. Here is my contact information, ashley.story@arkansasobesity.org. Again, email me with ways that I can make health simple for you, or I can put some great resources into your hands. I look forward to hearing from you, and I thank you for all of your support and for you being here.
recognition program. I'm sure Ashley will discuss this in more depth, but that's a wonderful goal that we're getting to add through the help and through the thanks of ArCOP. So I'm very thankful for that. Right, thank you so much. With this project coming to an end in June, we are anxious to talk about a sustainability plan to continue the work in Go Knapsack, so we can continue seeing this wonderful progress in health and wellness across the state. One more thank you to ArCOP and the board members for your partnership on this work. Without you, it wouldn't have been possible. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Robbie. This information was great. ArCOP is currently seeking funding to continue this program so that we can reach our goal of offering this to all the early child care facilities across the state. Now on to our celebration time. I will pass this along to Ashley to give a shout out to our volunteers and then take it back to share our 2021 Growing Healthy Community awardees.
And I am so excited to get to do this part of our annual meeting of the members. And we get to do some volunteer shout outs this time. We have had the wonderful pleasure of working with 3 volunteers over the last few months. And we are just so thankful for the time that they have put into all of these projects, me specifically, because I have gotten the pleasure of working with all 3 of them. So first up, I wanted to recognize Nancy Welsh Young. She is currently a doctoral student in the Leaders for Transition program at the University of Arkansas, where she is pursuing a PhD in curriculum and instruction with a focus on special education transition. Education is Nancy's second career. After first earning a paralegal degree and working in real estate development for 13 years, she decided to go back to school and earned a bachelor's degree in early childhood education. She taught elementary school while also completing an MSc special education instructional specialist. She subsequently taught in an alternative high school for 5 rewarding years. Nancy also went on to earn an educational specialist degree in building administration. She also taught multiple subjects in middle school, self-contained resource, and inclusion classrooms. Nancy's current research areas include empowering families, using high leverage practices, social skills interventions with students with emotional behavioral disorders, utilizing video modeling to improve educational outcomes for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities or autism, embedding trauma-informed teaching practices within school-wide support systems, disclosure of disability in the workplace, and intricacy collaboration to improve post-secondary transition success. She is a rock star, guys, clearly by her bio, but she has been helping us with these Growing Healthy Community podcasts that we've been putting out since I've come back from maternity leave. And again, I am just so thankful. She was definitely the right person for the job. So Nancy, again, just a huge thank you. We also have Alyssa Clark, who has been helping us over the last couple of months. She has been helping with the nutrition education recipes and flyers. She is an occupational therapy student at UCA. She is also part of the LEND programs. These students are graduate level allied health professional students from 15 different disciplines like public health, health administration, social work, nutrition, OT, and they are part of a nationally recognized maternal and child health leadership program at UAMS, and that is the LEND program, so Leadership and Education in Neurodevelopmental Disabilities. So Alyssa, again, a huge thank you for your time. We really have appreciated having you on board. And then last up, a special thank you goes out to Steve Price. Steve Price has been helping or was helping with our reporting and our data collection, and he just decided to volunteer his time with ArCOP. He's been a lifelong resident of Conway, Arkansas, and he chose to volunteer his time to help with this reporting and data collection. And his work, again, allowed me to free up so many hours to continue helping with the Better Together project. I'm also very saddened to share that due to some very unfortunate circumstances over the holiday season, his life was cut short and he is no longer with us. So I'm just so thankful for the time that I was able to work with him in his final days. And his work was very much a huge part of allowing me to continue on with other projects. And so to all 3 of these volunteers, we thank you. And we are just so proud to be able to work with you guys.
Thank you, Ashley, for that. We truly do appreciate all of our volunteers. All right, guys, next is our celebration time for our Growing Healthy Communities to be recognized. Communities awarded with GHC recognition levels have set out to get healthier economically, policy-wise, nutritionally, and physically. In each Growing Healthy community, there is an organized disciplinary team working actively to drive health forward. GHC applications are on a rolling basis and can be applied for at any time. So congratulations to these 6 2021 GHC being recognized today for doing an outstanding work during these times that have been so challenging to all of us. These communities have put effort into providing access to healthy, affordable foods and physical activity through the built environment. Each of these communities will be provided technical assistance and funding preferences throughout this year. Let's get started. Congratulations to the following cities in no particular order. The first one is City of Charleston. They were recognized as a blossoming community. The second one was Lavaca School District, and they also were recognized as a blossoming community. Miller Bowie Health Coalition, recognized as a blossoming community. The Springdale Public School Coordinated School Health, blossoming community. The U of A Little Rock University District as a blossoming community. Van Buren County as a blossoming community. Thank you all for attending our ArCOP annual meeting of the members. We will continue to work within our communities and alongside you. If you need to contact us, you can reach us via email, phone, text, social media, etc. Take care, and we will see you all soon.